Yeah, boy.
G'day guys, I'm Tim Lee from Western Angler, and I'm just going to put together a little video for you guys to accompany next month's article, October-November issue of Western Angler, all about spinning for pelagics called shore trophies. Everything from tackling tactics to finding the fish. So through Dirk Argyle and a steep point, I've been able to, over the years, put together a little bit of footage, and I've mashed it all together for you guys to accompany the article. As we go through the footage, I've explained a little bit about what's going on, and you'll get a really good idea of what I'm talking about if you cross-reference that with the article. So sit back, relax and enjoy. I'm Tim Lee, I'll talk to you later.
My absolute favourite part of any trip is rocking up to your chosen campsite, realising you got the entire place to yourself, looking across the horizon at that deep blue water, and knowing for the next couple of weeks the whole place is yours and the action's going to be red hot. Here's this pod of trevally going nuts right in front of us. This footage was taken about 3 months ago when me and the boys hit DHI in June, and just watched Joe Barbatano get stuck into these trevally. Absolutely crazy action. It's one thing to choose your location and time of year. It takes a bit more to think about moon phases and tides, and that's what the article goes on about. You can't always rock up to a spot and expect to be shooting fish in a barrel like this scene happening right here.
Now during the summertime, the best place to go pretty much is Steep Point. As you're facing north and you got that southerly with you, if you're spinning, you can just punch lures out with the wind behind you and just get maximum distance on your lures. And there's lots of small spenders about, not too many big fish around. They're all about, 10 kilos. Occasionally you get the bigger 15 kilo ones, but not much more than that. Yeah, you'll get your cobia and sails and even a chance for marlin if you're lucky enough to snag one of those on spin, but mostly it's all about getting good numbers of Spanish mackerel. So here's a bit of footage from Steep Point where me and a mate of mine, Pete Iosy, did one day trip to meet the guys up there, where Podge, Justin Anthony was up there, Sock'em Chook and Goshi G were up there, and we absolutely slayed it on the first day. So it's some really good footage. I hope you enjoy it.
Three-way!
Now you know what it was. When you see this come up, alright?
Oh, no, you got one in the mouth. Go, go, go.
Leroy.
Holy shit. Good stuff. That's a good fish. Hold on, bro. Oh, you're all over, mate. Yeah, shot. Cold.
My absolute favourite place on the entire west coast to go is Dirk Argyle. I really wish I could do more than one trip per year, but everyone's got work and commitments and family and stuff, and I just can't do it. So once a year we get up there June, July, which we find is the best time to target the really big fish. Steep Point has a lot of small fish, like I said before, and what you saw in the footage, but Dirk Argyle just happens to have bigger fish. Genuinely, you'll easily hook a few 20 kilo plus fish, and you know, if you're lucky to snip one past the sharks, then you know it's just everyone's lifelong goal to get one over 20 kilos, and occasionally you might even hook one over 30, which would just be the ultimate. But through the footage, I'm going to go through it with you. The place is just like anywhere else on the coast, like Clobber and Steep Point. There's so many sharks around. You really need to get your game plan in order to get past those sharks. Letting them free spool out or under no tension, out past the shark zone, and try and sneak them back in, and then ultimately get them to the gap. So we'll go through that with you now. Have a look. This is a bit of a compilation from 2015 to 2017. A bit of the action that the boys and I got up to on our trip to Dirk-Artig Island. Enjoy.
Trevally, boys. Could be. Fucking trevally, it's a decent trev.
Nah, tuna, mate. Nah, it's
Yeah, bluefin.
foul hooked sharky or barry, mate.
It's not a sharky.
Foul hooked.
What?
Barry. It's coming. No, it's. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, a little bar foul hooked, I think. Looks hooked in the mouth for me. Fucking hell, it's got some balls. Hooked in the head. He scalped him. That's why he's going so fucking hard.
As a general rule, the best time for spinning for Spaniards is early mornings and late afternoons. On this occasion though, we're fishing slack water at the bottom of the tide, not far from a drop-off zone. When fish aren't busting up on the surface, we're basically just blind casting. So the best method is using 85 gram metals, cast out as far as you can, let them sink all the way down to the bottom and rip them out lightning speed. Every hookup is just awesome. Check this out.
I told you I'd get him.
And the result is Lee Aikens hooked up to a reasonable sized barry.
Leroy just did a dance and he's hooked up to a big barry.
Spinning all bloody morning, nothing. Happy's telling me to go big bar, do the dance. Big bar. I don't like the fact that it can go around the corner.
Yeah, no, keep winching him, mate. Keep winching, keep winching.
How good is the low ledge at the block at Dirk-Artig Island? On reasonable days, you can get down to water level, spin to your heart's content, guff fish out of the water, and even pluck them out of the water, take the lure out, and send them in for a quick release. On this occasion, Toby Moore's down there with his GoPro, takes us some awesome footage. I've just slowed this section down to illustrate how important it is to have really slimline knots and swivels down at the rig end. Even just having the line cut through the water near the surface creates a bubble trail, which small fish will see and attack, ultimately snipping you off and losing your fish. Reduce how big your knots and swivels are and you'll have far more success and less failures.
Nice one.
He's alright. Good fish, Leroy.
I'm all fucking morning for that. Nice work.
Yeah, bro, you can need an extra hand.
I think I've done it.
Aki's on a big bar. Yeah, good fish.
The boys from over east really know their pelagic spinning. Here's Chris Hack hook up to a decent fish nearing the 20 kilo mark. When it comes to hooking and fighting fish in shark infested waters, these guys are absolute guns, and the play goes a little bit like this.
Watch he doesn't go over that rock, Hack.
Firstly, you drag your set to about 8 kilos. So when you first hit that fish, you hit him at 8 kilos. Plenty of power to sink those hooks in. Next, the fish is going to show you its size. So if it's going to take 8 kilos of drag and have a good run, you know it's a decent fish. If it's sitting there head shaking, not doing too much, it's probably just a small fish. You can leave your drag at 8 kilos and just punch him on. But if he's taking that 8 kilos of drag off you, he's definitely a bigger fish. And the worst thing you can do is keep that drag tension on. So in these waters, when there's sharks around, the best thing you can do is back that drag right off. And I'd recommend going back to about 1 or 2 kilos. Absolutely nothing on him. Just enough to keep the pressure on and the hooks in. You let that fish run wide as he wants to, out of the shark zone and into deep, clean water. That way you've got a good safe fight on your hands. He's only going to have 1 or 2 runs in him and he's going to be absolutely exhausted by the time you decide to bring him back in. Once he's done his dosh and he's got no more runs in him and no more head shakes or lunges, crank that drag back up to about 5 kilos and bring him in. It's going to be like walking a puppy past the sharks. He's not going to make a fuss and usually you'll get him in. The idea is when they get close to the gaff and into the shark zone, they're not struggling at all. They're not making a fuss and they're not sending out come and eat me signals to the sharks. In such a hostile environment where there's sharks everywhere, it's the only thing you can really do to try and get past them. Having said all that, in sports fishing, there's absolutely no guarantees, and on this occasion, Chris Hack couldn't slip him past, and the shark come along and just took the tail off.
He's got the tail. Here's a good bar.
It could have been 28. Not quite. I think you just saw it again.
Yeah, now anyways.
Let's see all that again, but with no sharks this time.
You got a nice one on spin just now. Good fish, bro. Time's just hooked up. Good bar, he's just back the drag off. Let it run wide, just in case there's any sharks after him. Hopefully that Spaniard can just outrun the sharks, and by the time he comes back in, he's a lot more relaxed and doesn't fuss too much, so the sharks don't really want to have a guard him too much. Great head shakes in it. Just giving him some stick. Toads has done this a million times before, so he's pretty good at what he does when it comes to this sort of stuff. Got Hacky on the gaff.
First time I saw this complete method, I was fishing with Toby Moore off Whistling Rock in Quabba. I couldn't believe how well he just composed himself, let the fish run wide, do their thing, and slip them in past the sharks. A lot of the time you won't even know he's hooked up. He's just sitting there with that fish trickling drag off, letting him run wide, doing his thing. Then he'll tighten up and walk that thing in like a little puppy.
Oh, good Barry. Good Spaniard. Go, Hacky. It's a Spaniard. Well done, Tobes. That's well played, bro.
While it's not the biggest fish around, any fish landed is a win in my books.
Nice one. Yeah. Got one on the rocks.
For once.
Grab a photo. Yeah. Oh, he spat the liver.
Perfect.
You good? Yeah. Perfect.
And just remember, if you're getting those smaller fish, the low ledge at the block's real good. You can just pull your fish up, take the hooks out, and slip them straight back into the water.
No, wait.
Just like I spoke about in the article, getting the right match of gear is critically important for distance, ease of use. Light gear is so much easier to use than heavy gear, but sometimes you need the heavier gear to dominate bigger fish. It's just the balancing act that you really got to get perfect. And as you might know, I own and operate Pursuit Sport Fishing Tackle, and these new rods, the PSF Sith 962 MB, are absolutely awesome rods. They cast a mile. They've been factory tested to lift 15 kilos. I wouldn't recommend doing that yourself at home, but they've been factory tested to lift 15 kilos and up to 200 grams. But they're only rated to about 12 kilo drag and 120 grams just as a safety net. They're still an ultimate pelagic spinning weapon. I suggest you check them out. Look me up on Facebook, Tim Lee, or PSF, Pursuit Sport Fishing, and I'll answer any questions. You can order them through me, give me a call, or text me via Facebook, and I'll get you on one of these. Back in the 2015 season at Dirk-Arlig Island, I was fishing with Lee Aikens and Chris Hack, Toby Moore as well at the time, and managed to get my PB Spaniard on spin just over 20 kilos. I'd always got close to the mark, like, you know, the 17s, 18s and 19 kilo fish, but I never hit that 20. And on this occasion, we were fishing a high tide. It was a bit rough, but we were punching 85 gram lures into it and getting enough distance, and I managed to snag my 20. 2 hours later, I managed to get an even bigger fish on the drop, and as you'll see in the footage, I didn't manage to sneak in past the sharks, but I still had a good time. Alright, enjoy.
You win some and you lose some. On this day, I've already landed my personal best 20 kilo Spaniard, and now I'm hooked up to another one. We're at the top of the tide on rough conditions, and usually it's pretty good Spaniard time. Big boys love cruising around at that high tide period, especially when it meets around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's something about it, and it's a great time to have a lure in the water. At this point, I've already let this fish run really wide. He's almost emptied my spool, but now I'm starting to get a bit of line back and bringing him nice and easy under low tension. I've only just kind of got used to this game plan. Earlier, I landed my 20 kilo fish, my personal best Spanish mackerel, using this method, and now I'm trying to do it again. The only flaw in my system, and something that I really need to work on, is cranking that drag back up when he gets in that 50 to 100 metre zone, as this is where the sharks are going to be sitting, and the last thing you want your fish doing is making any last lunges or head shakes. You just want to head it straight for the gaff, man. On this occasion I failed. I let him run a little bit to the left or right. There was a few head shakes and the sharks woke up. They came along and absolutely smashed him.
There it is. Oh, it's a big Mackie! Was. Oh my god, this is 30. What's 30? Shit, that's a monster! It's about 3 kilo.
Yeah.
That's 22 and a half.
Yeah. Wouldn't be 30 with fucking...
That's bigger than your fish. That's like that. Yeah. It's 22 and a half kilos right there. Yeah. Oh well.
Well, I hope you enjoyed having a look at pelagic spinning along our west coast. How to go about sending those lures out, cranking them back in, and hopefully getting onto a fish. It's not easy, it's hard work, but if you work on your game plan, you'll have a lot more success than those guys that just get out there and hope for the best with lock drags and end up popping things. And yeah, you really got to think about what you're doing in this game if you want constant success. You'll see all through social media and in magazines and stuff like that, there's guys that have success and there's guys that fail. Those guys that have success aren't having success because they're out there all the time and putting the hours in. It's because they think about what they're doing and use their time on the rocks wisely to dominate those trophy pelagics. So do the same thing yourself, put your mind to it, and hopefully you get a trophy on the deck. I'm Tim Lee for Western Angler and Pursuit Sport Fishing. Thanks for watching.